Hi, former NFL strength and conditioning coach Terrell Jones is with me today to answer more questions. Thank you so much for your time, Terrell.
Well, again, thanks for having me. This is fun. I love this.
Hmm. You have been a strength and conditioning coordinator for military and various teams in multiple sports. Are there major differences in how you coach depending on the organization or sport?
Yeah, so and I learned this early in my career is that you have to coach each athlete differently. And it doesn't matter if they're on the same team or doing the same sport. You you still have to coach them differently. Plus, you have to take time with them and find out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what motivates them, um, and get to know their personalities. So then that way you can design different programs, uh, to their athletic abilities, to their personalities. Plus, also too, you have to have fun. You can't go out there and be stern and keep running people. You got to make it fun, make games out of it.
That's awesome. What do you think is the most important part of your coaching philosophy?
What do I think is the most important? Um, there's you know what there's a lot of things again when it comes to coaching and especially athletes, but getting to know the athlete and their personalities and their mental strengths is very important because we know that even though they're athletes, that they're going to have bad days just like we are, right? So you get to know their personalities, their mental strengths, and you adjust to it.
That's awesome. You're an athlete yourself and played fast pitch softball for Air Force. How did that influence the way you coach?
That's a great question because nobody's never asked me that before. So when I played softball, of course it's a team sport, and I wasn't the coach. I was just one of the players. But I learned from the other coaches, and then I started watching other coaches from other teams and how they did it. And then especially like when we played professionally fast pitch, teams when I watched, but I never thought that I was going to be a coach. I thought I was going to be in the Air Force for 20 years. But then we fast forward to, after I decided I was going to go into coaching, then all that memories started coming back on how they would coach their players, and, I saw some things that I wouldn't personally do, but then I saw some things that I would do. And I took all that and put it together and said, okay, this is kind of like the basis of me coaching.
That's awesome. What has been your proudest moment as a coach?
Oh man, there's so many, but I will say, so we had this player, this running back named Garrison Hurst. He got hurt. Um, they thought it was a career-ending injury, but because of his, I would say, stubbornness and his dedication and his strength, he came back after, say, 2 seasons. But I got to work with him every day to help him get back. And the first time that he got back on the field, the first game, I almost cried because, when you're spending time with a person like that every day and you see how bad he wants it and how hard he worked, and where people kept saying, oh, he's not going to make it back, he's not going to make it back, and he did. It was like I had a part of that along with the other medical staff and everybody else. But it brought tears to my eyes, and he and I are still friends to this day. We just talked a couple weeks ago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You are now the Director of Business Development at the Current Energy Foundation. What is the organization about and why is it important to you?
So Kind Energy was started by former NFL player Billy Turner, and I'm very close to his family. And so what Kind Energy does is that we have all different kinds of resources. From my network, financial stuff that we have. And what we do is we give back to the younger generation, but we teach them how to actually achieve and chase their dreams and goals when it comes to what they want to do as far as careers go. So, like, I have a background in strength and conditioning, and people always want to understand how do you get into sports one way or another. So I have those resources. I know doctors. I know people who are in the tech industry. I know people in broadcasting. So we take our network and we introduce the youth to these professionals that we have that we know, and they help them, basically navigate how to go about getting into whatever industry or career that they want to get into. So, so that's what we do. We just did a coat drive back in Minnesota, where I'm from, back in November, and our goal was to get collect 500 coats and distribute them to the community. We ended up getting 750 coats, and we were able to do that. We were able to pass out food, toothbrushes, a couple of boots, some snow pants. So to able to give back to the community like that, it just warms your heart.
That's really awesome. It has been amazing talking to you. Thank you so much, Terrell.
Lily, thank you so much for having me, and feel free to reach out at any time.
All right. For Lily Sports Beat, I'm Lily.
Go Niners.
Hmm.